Hello my friends, so welcome to the Bavarian Outback. This is the channel where I do some crafts and just relax or cook a little bit in my little cabin in the woods. Today I'm back in civilization and I will show you how to build a little bird feeder or a little birdhouse out of scrap material. Out of a lot of things you can find in the garden or in your shed or in the garage, which is just wasted material, and we take it and build a beautiful big birdhouse out of it. The big advantage of cutting the branches out of your garden in winter is that all the branches are completely dry and there is no water in them, so you can use them immediately. Yes, first of all, you need a sharp pencil. Yeah, like this one in a second. The next important thing is a sharp jigsaw, like this one. Then you need a screwdriver. A pretty well charged one, because in winter the battery will be empty very fast. Some drills, a measuring thing, and some screws, long ones and a few shorter ones. And some very short ones. I think these are all the things we need to start, and yeah, the idea is to make a tripod, because if you have three legs cannot wobble around, they were always standing straight. So let's start with the construction of the bird feeder. So before you start, it's important that you get an overview over all your materials, over all the branches you have, over all the pieces of wood, how long, how thick, if they have holes in it, or which material they are, if they are straight, if they have a little bow, etc., etc. If you have an overview, then you can sort them out and then you can start. So for us it's important that they have all the same thickness, and when you have an overview, then sort them out and start to picture the bird feeder in your head, and then nothing can go wrong. The first piece of wood that we cut will be the longest. This will become a part of the roof. We start with the longest parts, because when we have the longest parts finished, then we have an exactly overview of the rest material we can use. Look at this cool angle tool. That's from my grandpa out of the World War II, I think. And as you can see, 90 degrees are still 90 degrees. So if you really have the chance to get some really old tools, then you should use these old tools, because these are 1,000 times better than all these plastic crap that you can buy. Look at this one. This holds since, I don't know, 80 years. And if you buy one out of plastic, maybe it's broken tomorrow.
Das Zehnfache, wie das damals gekostet hat. Oder Mai, vielleicht haben sie es sich sogar selber gebaut. Na gut, schneiden wir das erste Brett durch. Angezeichnet ist es.
Okay, let's start with the first cut.
Nicht in dem Fall, aber es wäre natürlich schön, wenn es gerade wird. Deswegen mit dem Winkel arbeiten.
So number one is ready, and very important, don't cut into your table. Now we take the first one and take it as a measurement and mark all the others. Check the measurements of the rest piece of wood, and Let's see, okay, it's 58, so we take it for the bottom plate. Perfect.
so ein bisschen vorstellen kann.
Here we're going to take 3 pieces of wood next to each other, and then we take
Das heißt, da sind wir dann bei
another
41.
piece of wood and screw it all together here in this line. So one here and one here.
Und am Boden machen wir es
This
genauso.
works
Da kommen die
exactly the
Querstriche
same
nach unten,
for the
dass die
2
Bretter
roof
zusammenhalten.
parts
Und am
and
Boden
for
machen wir
the
ein bisschen
bottom
quer.
plate.
Das heißt, für den Boden
The only thing which is different is that the little piece of wood, which is the support to hold it all together on the roof, they are on top, and for the bottom plate, they are underneath the bottom plate, so that you have a flat surface inside the little birdhouse. So then we mark the last 2 pieces of wood, take our old World War II angle and put it in place.
und das nächste Teil zum Schneiden.
So we are almost finished with all the pieces of wood. Now we take the last 2 supports from a little bigger piece of wood and cut it into place. So ready for the next step. This is the bottom plate, this is the support. We screw it underneath on this side and on this side. So it will fix it together, then we turn it around and then we have a flat surface inside of the bird feeder. Before you screw it all together, you should check that you don't have a branch hole in one of these wood plates, because on top it's bad, it's raining inside, and on the bottom plate it's bad because all the bird feed falls out.
Nur machen wir da die Streben nach außen, deswegen habe ich da die schöneren genommen.
So for the roof, as I told you, the supports are visible, so we take the very nice ones or the nicer ones and screw it on top.
Richtig schöner Giebel wird es. In der Mitte machen wir noch eine Leiste rein zum Abschluss. Und
for the roof plate, we are going to turn it around and screw it from the other side. So just make sure that it's a flat surface here, and then measure it so that it's straight, and then we screw it from this side, because then from the outside you cannot see the screws, and it's better for the waterproofness. Don't put the screw into this branch hole here, because that's a very, very hard piece of wood. Screw it together very tight so you don't have a gap. Don't push the screw too deep inside so you don't screw it onto your table.
So, hier setzt man noch eine rein, weil durch das Astloch ist da das Brett relativ stabil. Und dann zieht sie das wieder hoch hier.
Because of this branch hole, we take a few more screws so that it's getting very close to the support.
Funktioniert das. So, und das gleiche. Dann natürlich auch
Finish with this one, and now let's go to the other one. Turn it around and put in the last screw. And then we are ready with these 2 plates.
So schaut das quasi aus. Als nächstes werden wir jetzt hier so ein Giebelteil.
The next thing is cutting out the angles on the front and on the back side for the roof. Let's find a cool angle so that it looks like an old Bavarian mountain shed.
Ja, genau. Dann werden wir jetzt dieses Giebelteil hier rausschneiden.
Next step is we measure it, so we get about 44 centimeters for one side and make it a little bit narrow So we mark it here and check how it looks if we take 44 centimeters for every side, and if the roof is getting big enough so that the water or the rain is not coming inside the bird feeder from the side. Let's make the roof a little bit more steep, so we take 30 and then we have a little bit more on the side for rain protection. Yes, I think 20 is too steep, 40 is too much, so we make it 30. Make a bigger line for the middle, and then we go to the other side, take the 30 centimeters again, and then we have a really perfect triangle.
Da brauchen wir nicht großartig rummessen, weil sich das nämlich einfach ergibt. Und so habe ich einen schönen.
Looks like we get a real cool angle for our roof.
Das Gute bei so Winkelsachen ist,
we need 2 of those, so the good thing is we take this one and copy it exactly on this piece of wood, and so we don't have to measure around. We just have a perfect copy of it.
So. Und müssen nur noch einmal sägen, anstatt noch zweimal.
And now we have 2 really cool roof triangles.
Die werden wir jetzt noch hier. Der ist vielleicht ein bisschen klein.
Now we take the pothole drills and make a little window inside of it, so that we get our Bavarian mountain shed look.
Hier noch ein bisschen verschönern. Hier ein Loch in die Mitte bohren.
So then let's measure it out and get the perfect center for our pot drill.
Die Mitte.
So let's check one more time that we have the exact center, because it's better to check one time too often than one time too less.
So machen wir das. Dann bohren wir da noch ein kleines Ausguckloch rein und dann haben wir die Giebel auch fertig. Für das Bohren hier.
For drilling out the hole, we should put something underneath it, so that we don't drill into our table.
Ich habe die halt jetzt gerade da. Jetzt gerade her. So. Damit wir nichts kaputt machen. Schauen wir nochmal genau, ob das so passt. Dass das noch was ausschaut. So. Genau.
One short check again and let's drill it out. There, one important thing, drill from the nice side, the side you want to see, because the other side will come out very rough. So that's why I said you need a well-loaded drill when it's cold, because the battery will be empty very fast if it's under 0 degrees Celsius.
Super schnell leer. mal. Ist doch richtig schön geworden, oder? So.
And number 2.
Als nächstes brauchen wir jetzt hier mal ein bisschen an Platz.
For the next step we need a little bit more space, so let's clean up and start with the roof triangles. So we're going to start with the left side of the roof. That's the inside, so that's where the triangles are supposed to be. Now we measure how wide is the bottom plate, and we have to put the triangles in the exact spot that it will end on the rim from the bottom plate. So we go in for about 11 centimeters on this one. If you build it in other dimensions, you have to go in the exactly length of your bottom plate so that you can put it over the construction that we will screw on the bottom plate later.
Das heißt, wir rutschen da mit 11 cm nach innen ungefähr. Das heißt theoretisch, dass der erste Giebel sowas daher kommt.
So that's the spot where the first triangle will be, and then we turn it around and measure the same dimension so that we can screw it from the outside. So we take the 11 again, or your measurements if you put it in other dimensions, and then we screw from the outside and fix the roof triangles.
Und da auch noch einmal. Und da auch noch einmal. So,
Then let's make a line between these 2 points, because then we know that on this line every screw you will put in will exactly fit into the triangle underneath.
bedeutet, mit der ersten Schraube
With the first screw you have to start very carefully, and when the first screw is set, then you can be sure that every screw will hit the triangle underneath.
setzen wir mal gleich 2, damit es nicht mehr verrutschen kann.
Put in the screws halfway so that they are fixed, and then it's much more easier to screw it on the triangle.
So hinkommen. Probieren wir es mal aus. So, die erste
The
Schraube
first one aims perfectly, so we take the second one and then we are ready to fix it perfectly.
genau hinkommen. Zeige ich es mal von der anderen Seite.
Take a look from the other side, that's the way it works.
Damit wir hier nicht
Put your finger right next to this piece of wood, because when the screw is coming out on the wrong side, you will feel it.
so wie hier jetzt. Dann kommen wir raus. Setzen es nochmal ein bisschen weiter zur Seite. Gehen vorsichtig und mal gerade da rein. Und ziehen das fest. So.
That's how it looks now, and
Die anderen da noch rein.
then we take the last screw and then we take the second plate for the roof and finish it.
Setzen wir mal wieder vorsichtig 2 da rein.
Always start carefully on the marked line. Put it in halfway like I mentioned before, then it's much easier to aim for the other piece of wood underneath.
Machen wir gleich 3. So, schöne Seite wieder nach außen. Setzen das hier wieder an. Fahren da vorsichtig hin. Sehr schön, dass das auch da ankommt.
Check one more time that it's perfectly straight and then screw it.
Schauen wir, dass wir es treffen. So, schaut ganz gut aus. Kommt nirgendwo raus. Machen wir es fest. Gleiches nochmal da unten. So.
And now we are halfway done.
Die Giebelteile da dort. Und das gleiche.
And now the other side is exactly the same procedure.
So. Und das da wieder her. Das längere wieder nach oben. Und setzen das da.
Check that it will fit perfectly so that you don't get a gap.
Mit der ersten fixieren wir es wieder, dass das hier schön bündig ist.
We start exactly the same like we did it on the other side.
Schauen wir mal, ob es schön drinnen ist. Jawohl. Schaut gut aus soweit.
As you see, it fits together perfectly, so we turn it around and I think we screw it this way because then I can take a look on both sides at the same time.
So, genau, spielen wieder. Schaut gut aus. Jetzt wird es einfacher, wenn man zwei Schrauben hat.
Make a line again, then it's easier to aim.
So, genau mit der Schraube. Strich gemacht. Und jetzt sind alle Schrauben, die natürlich auf dem Strich sind, gehen halt genau in das hintere Holz mit rein. Fertig.
Yes, and the roof is finished.
Soweit fertig. Dann geht es jetzt an den Unterbau.
Then we put this to the side and start with the base construction and the walls or the supports or however.
Das wird quasi jetzt.
The bottom plate, I think we put it, not this close, but we needed to measure it out
Das Unterteil.
and put now a support on each corner. There we take the branches out of the garden, a few very straight ones, and as I told you, cut it in winter time, because in winter there is no water in the branch and you can work with it immediately.
3 und 4.
We mark 4 pieces in the same length and then we cut it with our jigsaw.
So.
Here we go with 4 supports, 1 for each corner, like this.
Die werden wir jetzt da drauf schrauben. So schaut das jetzt
And
aus.
that's how it looks now. We screwed it from underneath so that you don't see the screws. And now we're going to fit the roof on it. So the supports will go to the inside, of course. And as you see, we measured perfectly and it fits perfectly. So it starts to look like a perfectly Bavarian mountain shed.
Und hier jetzt natürlich genau
So with
zielen.
these 4 corner screws we have to aim perfectly so that we get exactly into the branches underneath.
Gerade in die Spitze unten rein. So. Wunderbar. Zur Verzierung, damit es schöner ausschaut.
To make the roof perfectly waterproof, we take a branch, turn it around so that it will fit exactly in this little spot here, and then the whole roof is water and rain proof.
An Regen ab, damit es da nicht reinlaufen kann. Und dann schrauben wir den jetzt auch fest. Dann nehmen wir ein bisschen kürzer. Und fertig.
And ready is the main construction, so I think we should put a little balcony around it so that the birds cannot fall out. No, not for the birds, it's for the cats, that cats and all the other animals cannot enter the birdhouse so easily.
Da unten keinen Rand, weil wenn wir hier einen Rand machen, dann kann man das
At the
Ganze
bottom plate we
sprich
don't
sollten
put
wir
a rim
rausnehmen.
around it, because when you make a rim around it then you cannot sweep out the empty bird feeds and the seeds and all the stuff.
Großes Vogelhäuschen.
When you use these fresh round branches, then you should take a drill and drill a hole through it, because when you put in a screw, then you don't crack the round wood.
Dann kann es sein, dass das Holz springt. Siehst du wieder, bei den Temperaturen gibt der Akku schon wieder auf.
You can hear it with these low temperatures. The battery is almost empty again, but that's okay, because now I think I go inside and make a quick hot cup of tea.
So, als nächstes werden wir
Back
noch
again,
Stangen
yes,
zuschneiden.
warmed up. So for the next step we are going to cut a few really thick branches, because I want to make a tripod to put the birdhouse on, and I'm going to show you how I build it the easiest way.
Für den Dreibein, dass der unten Stabilität kriegt, dass man dann da oben quasi das Haus draufschrauben kann. Und danach werden wir die dann alle ans Häuschen hinschrauben.
But first we finish the balcony. So I told you, put a hole into the branches so that you don't crack them. Then we fix it with the screw and screw it all the way through these 2 branches.
So. So finde ich, schaut das doch ganz gut aus. Und nun die andere.
And now the other side. So take the branch, measure it out, let it a little bit longer, because I think that looks a little bit cooler, and then we cut it into place.
Schneiden wir den hier ab. So. Schauen wir mal, wie lang das ist. Vielleicht kriegen wir aus dem Ast hier gleich 2 Stück
Take a
raus.
quick measurement, maybe we get
70,
both parts out of this branch.
70. Super, kriegen wir sogar 2 Stück raus. 70 und noch ein paar zerquetschte. Gut, dann sägen wir zusammen.
Okay, it's cut it in the exact length, and now let's finish the balcony for the little birds.
Dadurch, dass wir es vorgebohrt haben, können wir jetzt halt hier die Schrauben richtig schön versenken. Dass die auch nicht mehr
Put the
rauskommen.
screws all the way in and check that it's not coming out on the other side so that the
Das
birds
Ganze
don't
ohne,
get
dass
hurt.
er springt. So, und jetzt haben wir ein richtig schönes.
Look at this beautiful bird feeder.
Jetzt haben wir hier So, ziehen wir weg.
Here we have our 3 branches for the tripod. We take a 3-pot
Es macht nichts, wenn die ein
because
bisschen
if you
krumm
put it on 3 legs, it cannot wobble around.
sind. So, die werden wir jetzt halt hier oben miteinander verbinden. Und dann
First we
werden wir die
tie it
quasi
together
mit dem Dreibein
on the upper side and then we will stretch it out
zusammenschrauben.
and
Gucken, dass
make
oben
a little
quasi der
support
Durchmesser
around it out of
kleiner
wood
ist als das Unterteil
so
vom
that it
Häuschen.
can stand by
Und dann werden wir
itself.
sie unten noch versteifen mit kleineren Ästen, dass es ein richtig schönes Dreibein gibt, was dann dieses Häuschen trägt. Also ich nehme jetzt dafür
I
so ein
take
altes
this
Spannrad,
old
den legen wir hier mal rum.
strap with this metal lock on top of it and
Darf dann
stretch
oben
it
hier-
together.
Dürfte so ungefähr reichen. Muss man halt dann mal ausprobieren, wenn man es dann aufstellt.
Leave enough length
Denke ich mal,
of
dass
the
das
branch
macht.
on top of it so when you spread it out that you have enough space to put the bird feeder on top of it.
So, schieben die noch so ein bisschen in Position. Und dann probieren wir mal aus, ob er steht.
When it is fixed on the upper side, then we take it and check if it can stand by itself. I take this little case here for the angle so that it's exactly
Dann schrauben wir das
horizontal, and then we mark the few positions with screws, and first of it we screw together the upper side of the whole construction.
Und wenn jetzt alles einigermaßen fixiert ist,
When you put everything in the right angle and in the right position, then you can screw some supports underneath it, and then it will be standing by itself and can hold a lot of weight. Everything is still horizontal
ist immer noch gerade.
and I think it's ready now, and now we screw the bird feeder on top of it.
Und jetzt schrauben wir das Häuschen drauf.
Look at this, now our beautiful bird feeder is ready for all the little birds which have to stay here with us the whole winter.
Und wahrscheinlich hält es für die Ewigkeit.
Yes, this is the little birdhouse out of scrap material for not a cent,
Materialaufwand.
and I think it will hold forever. Yes, my friends, that's it from the Bavarian Outback. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you understand how to build a bird feeder for no money at all the stuff out of the garden or the garage. And I hope you join me for my next video. Please let me some thumbs up, that would be so great, and leave comments and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.
Bis dann.